Hi, y'all. Welcome to the thing that is my life, such as it is. Yeah, my life has a lot of drama in it. And in order to deal with that drama, I have to drink my Gatorade, or Powerade, or my water. Yeah, just to deal with people. Shoot, that's what you gotta do these days. But today I'm coming in to talk about something a little different than I normally talk about. You all know what I mean. I normally talk about a certain person. And this time, it's not. It's actually about somebody else that's not messing with my stuff, but just being really hurtful. And I'm talking about my biological sister and some other family in my biological side who I'm shutting out of my life because I do that lately. If people hurt me and they do it with like such an intention to almost like purposefully bring me down and make me feel like I'm irrelevant to anybody, it's like, putting on an act. I really cannot stand people that put on acts like they don't know what's going on. I can't. Those type of people stick in me beyond no end. And it's so like ridiculous. You always know that they know. Like they're not stupid. Like, who do they think I am? Like, I'm gonna be that dumb as to believe their crap? Like, they don't understand? Yeah, they do. They understand. And, I understand that some people, when, they get a little senile, some people do have that happen to them. But if you're like in your 30s or even 40s, you have no right to sit there and play amnesia. Like, yeah, I get it that, auto accidents or other odd things like that can cause people to have amnesia, which, whatever. It is what it is. But you are a normal, able bodied person in this world, and you have some kind of mentality, you have a brain to think with, you should not forget things that happened even a year or two ago. Like, it should just be understood. And all of you know about what happened with me and my niece. At least I'm thinking you know. If you don't, I'll recap. Basically, the bottom line was, bitch got me freaking raped, okay? And, this is my biological. Don't get this confused with some of those videos I shared with my family. None of them are these people. Yeah, I call her a bitch because that's what she is. She sits there and acts like everything's supposed to be just hokey-dory and that we're all just supposed to get along. You can't force people to get along. Trust you me, I know that. I know that all too well. Because when you want someone to actually care and they don't, yeah, it's disheartening. But if you're the cause of it, you have no room to like be upset, especially if you're not willing to accept or admit that you did anything wrong. And she's not even there yet, people. She got me raped. She cost us money. She basically almost was trying to get, could have gotten us kicked out of our place, and she wouldn't have cared. She was already, on the bottom like that. So she wouldn't have cared if I had to go be in the homeless shelters again with her. She wouldn't have cared. And I was like, no way is that happening. We even were able to get money from Isaac's mom to help her get into a motel. Which she had money, people. She had money the whole time. Or she just got some guy at the motel to give her a bunch of money so she could stay there for like months after that. It was ridiculous. We were like, how is she even able to have that money? She said she didn't have anything. And they're like, well, we can't tell you how it was paid. It was like, okay, like 2 seconds ago, she had nothing, not a dime to her name. And all of a sudden she has all this money. And I was scrimping on all my food. I gave her I only ate a half a bowl of soup at Zoop's just so she could have more food. And I was concerned for her. I actually cared. If you, I mean, I don't know how many views on my Facebook, but if you go down and scroll down way long years ago, around, I think it was 2015 or something like that. I don't know. But it's all there, people. All my whole ordeal. And the fact when I got raped. And I called and talked to my sister for an hour or so. So she has no, like, cause to be, like, to wonder what was going on. She knew exactly what was going on. She realized I was with this guy because I got so freaking sick of my niece telling me what happened to me in my life. She's literally telling me that my mom didn't pimp me out. Like, she was there. Like, you weren't even freaking born yet. How the hell you know? And I was like, no. I know what freaking happened to me. And the system, trust you me, would not have taken us out without some real reason. Because they made me stay there for literally 4.5 freaking years of hell. Yes, I've said in other times that I have forgiven my mom and that I understood she had mental issues, but that's no freaking cause to totally disregard the whole thing that happened. And that's what she was doing. She was wanting me to do that and to, like, admit that I was like, no, she did. And she wouldn't listen to my side. I got so pissed. I was getting so irate having this little prick bitch be here, acting this and that. Like, I was biting my tongue at that time because I was like, you know what? Whatever, it was what it was. But, you know, there's some lines you don't cross. And she was trying to get my husband and I to sit there and have a fight against each other so that she could just manipulate him because she thinks he's a softie. Bitch, you know, and if you're watching this, you don't know shit. Like, you don't know how me and him can get at it behind closed doors. You have no idea. But, you know, he's nice when he wants you to, when he's trying to be nice to somebody. And because, you know, he's a nice person if you don't cross that line. But the lines that she was crossing, trust you me, even if she had gotten her way and I had never come back here to be around here, trust you me, she would have eventually seen it. But that's what she was hoping for. And apparently, even at one point, she was hoping to get him to just go on some little joyride with her. Because the money... Yeah, well, the money that his mom gave her apparently was for her to get a place. And she's sitting there after I left with the guy that raped me. She was like, what would you do if you could just go anywhere? Where would you go?
That was enough for me to say, nope.
I had a feeling about her, though. I really did. At one point, I just started realizing, and yes, at this time, my sister was acting all goody-goody, like she was all on my side about it, telling me how horrible a person that my niece was, because she sat there for like an hour at one point at her house, telling me this and that about her own daughter, about how she screwed this person and that person. She went on with great details. And she even had an affair with her own freaking sister's man. Like, she's a freaking whore. She was living in a whorehouse. That's what my niece is living in. And so, you know, she was not a great person. And she wasn't somebody I really wanted in my life. But I did give her another chance. Against my better judgment, I gave her another chance because that's just the kind of person I am. And she ruined my birthday. You know, she had my birthday party, and I ended up not able to finish my meal with my mom and dad, my adopted parents. And we ended up having to go to the hospital for her because she said she was in labor pains or whatever. She was having really bad pains, and she was pregnant. Everybody felt like she was still pregnant. We were trying to help her get places situated and everything with these people for herself to stay at so she could get help when she had her baby. Which, people, get this. This is the worst thing of all. There was no freaking baby. There was none. Nothing. It was, you know, at the point, after all this shit went down, and after I was raped and I got my friend Brian at least to come get me at that time because I was not going to stay at this freaking psychopath's house any longer than I had to. I sneakily did it, though. I didn't want him to catch on that I was even having that thought, so I went along with his little weird ways. I had that happen, and then I ditched out. If I truly didn't want If I truly felt it wasn't a rape, I would have stayed. And I know it was. And he was holding me down. He had a bag full of money, $5,000 in a bag. He was doing illegal either marijuana or weed or some shit in his room. And he's like, if you go in there, I don't know what's going to happen. And he also said if I went into his duffel bag of cash, he doesn't know what's going to happen. Like, when I was sitting in there talking to my sister on the phone, because I did not want to be with him, I didn't think to, I didn't know where he lived. I didn't know the address, so I didn't think that they had things like that. I thought I'd have to have an address, so I didn't call the cops. But I mean, otherwise I would have if I had realized they do GPS. I didn't know that. So I didn't do that, and I sat in there, I called the only other person I knew, which was Lisa, and I talked to her for an hour. I was so scared. Like, she knows I was scared. I did not want to be there. And if I hadn't had, because I rarely would not always call. I did not like talking on the phone. So if I'm willing to talk to somebody, especially that long, then it means something. It means that I didn't really like where I was. And the next day, when Brian came to get me, I basically had him meet me somewhere because I didn't want to take a chance that this friend of his supposed roommate that he lied about when he first got with me and said that he was just going out to drinking with us. And then later on, the friend he acted like, oh yeah, that friend sleeps on the couch. He was making sure I didn't know things. Plus, I had not eaten well, people. I told my niece that we didn't have a lot of food. And so she knew that. She knew we didn't, at certain times we don't have a lot of food. So I was not wanting her to come down here because we didn't have food to give her. And so we had very little for ourselves. But the people, luckily, when we went to that place, they were giving her loads of food. So she was making off like a bandit, people. She was making off so...
Honey, how about those one people who actually had apartments that she could have gotten, but she chose not to?
Yeah, and there's these other people, apparently, she chose not to go them because she wanted to be with her aunt. Yeah, that's the only reason she even came down to Grand Rapids, people. Otherwise, she could have kept her butt over in Detroit, where it belonged. Like, I told her that we really don't have the ability to keep her in our place. And that was when we didn't have our couch, we didn't have all the nice stuff we have now. Like, now it's way better. But back then, we only had a bed and a little area where you could just sit there, just like a seat thing. And then our tub was so small and half-assed. It was like just a shower with a little area you could sit there and dunk your feet in. That's pretty much it. But now we have a tub, we have a lot of amenities. But back then, no. We didn't live as well. And, we're happy we didn't still have our Brentwood apartments mobile place, because she would never have left. But yeah, we were wanting just to get her away anyways. But,
actually, I would have finally gotten rid of her from Brentwood because Brentwood people would have made us put her on the lease then.
Yeah, I'm not going to put her on no lease. Hell no. But, yeah, I finally was like, I had Brian take me to Dollar Tree because I was going to buy $1 freaking pregnancy test, and I was going to force that bitch. I was like, even if Isaac doesn't want, leaves her bitch ass, I was like, I'm still going to force this bitch to prove that she's fucking pregnant, because I was starting to have my doubts, especially at one point when she stole my shit. Yeah. And she stole some of my things. Her mom even told her she's stolen from them. And I had that kind of in my head, sort of. Especially when all this started going down. I was like, no. That's why I grabbed almost all my dresses that I could think of to grab. And as much as my important things that I didn't want her ass to get into. Because she, even with Isaac in here and all that, she evaded him. And was able to get my freaking comb set. She got my hair thing. My nice hair dryer.
I went in to use the bathroom to take a dump at one moment.
Yeah, well,
time to do it.
You should have still gone in and inspected her shit. She was no real saint there.
No. I didn't realize how fast she did it.
Yeah, well, she did, and it was my stuff, so it still pisses me off to this day.
It still doesn't make me happy.
But she doesn't use anything. She don't ever do anything nice with herself. Like, she just steals. And, you know, luckily for me, I actually took some of my stuff. And I saw the combs in there. In her freaking shit. And I went and grabbed them before she could actually do anything. And she's all acting this victim and still getting Isaac manipulated. So he didn't realize. She's like, why are you going? I was like, no, I'm going through this stuff because I found some of my shit in her crap. Yeah, and I should have been a little more forceful and just kept going through her shit. Not even cared. It was my stuff too.
Now this day, I really wish I had just told Todd, you know something?
Should have, from that second you realized she was willing to steal from me. Because she could have stolen from you too.
Lisa, I'm sorry, man. I should have said, Todd, you know something? I'm not going to use this money to help you.
We should have just, yeah,
my wife, and you made us look bad, Todd. You're on your own.
We should have just brought her back to Detroit, where she freaking belongs, and I hope she stays. And by the way, I'm never gonna fucking believe your shit ever again. So if you think you're ever gonna have a chance with me, you fucking blew it. And I'm never gonna trust your little people that you pretend to be too.
And by the way, to the morons who didn't help Lisa. Yeah, you know who we are, Detective Bitch and Andrew Fuck. Your ass, you're in the wrong. You know you're in the wrong, so fuck you.
That was really, really bad. And, you know, it really, really messed me up a lot. The fact that I wasn't believed, made it even worse. And, you know, all that bitch had to say when I told her about that, you know what she said? She's like, so, how was he? That's what fucking she said to me. And I was like, oh, hell no, bitch. And, you know, she's seeing me because she knows I'm this little passive doormat kitten. That's all she thinks of me as. Well, Todd, you know what, bitch? I'm way more than you'll ever take me for. And you'll never pull that shit off me again. I'm way on to you and your freaking mom. And maybe she's where you learn this shit. Because my sister done some shit too to me. And none of them ever care. They don't ever say they're sorry. They don't think they're sorry because maybe they're narcissistic types. Maybe they never are, like, wrong. I don't know. But there's some fucked up, messed up shit in that family.
Yeah, there is.
And I honestly want nothing to do with it. I think I know why her brother left and hasn't really gotten in touch with her. Maybe that's why. Maybe they had issues before. And I just never knew about it. But me and Johnny, we had a way more normal life than that. Like, we weren't about all that shit. And I thought she was different. And I thought she was someone I could trust. Because I just blindly went and trusted. That's how I was until you fucked me over. Even sometimes then I'd trust motherfuckers. But, you know, it's done. It's done, and I realize what kind of people you all are. That you aren't caring, you aren't loving, you're that type that you just want me to pay attention to you and feel sorry for you and sit there and say, oh, poor Tot, she's now having endometriosis. Like, gosh, join the freaking club. Our whole freaking family has issues, Lisa. Like, our whole family has a lot of medical issues. Did you care when I had heart freaking surgery? That's right up there, if not more, so important. You kind of need your freaking heart.
Yeah, Lisa. It's kind of
like you don't care. Like, am I just surrounded by a bunch of narcissistic people that just want to take, and never care? I think so. And in this world, you can't have a soft heart for people. And sadly, I'm learning that. And people that I thought I should confide in the most, you know, when you tell somebody about something that happens to you and they act like, well, just focus on this, just focus on the good. No, not when they're fucking with their life. At that point, you're in survival mode. You're not caring about, oh yeah, I just have to look for the positive. If you have that mentality, you ain't gonna ever get anywhere. So you're not gonna get out of it. Oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. Yeah, after you're being screwed over and you have no money, because the motherfucker took money out of your account. So how are you going to pay for food? How are you going to pay for your motel stays?
Or wherever
You know,
live.
people don't understand the severity.
Except for
Like,
those who've had
I
it.
think
Yeah.
even now I'm like way downplaying it because it was really like heartache. And when he was having his investigation from the freaking government for his VA, because it was literally transferred to someone other asshole's account, which we all know probably is. But, you know, during that time, we kept trying to get on the phone with the VA people, and they always would give us the runaround. It was so damn annoying. And they would never give us the real answers, never be straight up with us, never actually tell us when we're going to actually get the money back. And we were just lucky that we somehow were able to work with the bank so that we at least could pay our damn freaking motel stay. But as for food, we hardly had anything. And we were skimping on literally every little area. It was like...
It was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. And honestly, people don't understand. I know everybody acts like, oh, so sorry. You know, it's more than that, okay? It's way more than that. It's beyond that. It's wrong. And we had every right and every justification to feel upset like we did. I had every right to sit there and tell every fucking person I knew. And that's why I do things more open like nowadays. Because then people don't as much walk over you. When you're in that little doormat and you just keep it to your freaking self and you try to be respectful, no. That's not ever going to get respected. You have to kind of go and be talkative. That's all the people that are talkative, that put their shit out there, they're the only ones that get anything and get anywheres in life. You ever notice that?
Lisa?
It is sad, you know, it's a sad truth, but the more you say shit, the more you say what really is going on, and you don't let motherfuckers, like, win, you actually let their shit get out, that's when you're gonna get somewheres. And yeah, I've had people rat me out and say shit on me all my life, so nobody can really tell me that I should put myself out there, because it's out there. Everybody in my different people know about a lot of things that I've done. They probably all know things that that didn't even really happen, because so many of the people in my life do talk shit about me. And when you're not there to say anything, then you know what? You can't say whether that happened or not. So they're going to just believe the other person. Whenever I say something, people still doubt whether it happened or not. Because yeah, it seems way out there that you have so many damn things happen to you. But you do sometimes. Some people really fucking do. And this girl is getting tired of being walked on. I'm getting tired of being that little fucking passive doormat that everybody just sees as this little emotional, like, kid. Or whatever. You know, I'm not your damn freaking little sister. I'm not your fucking mother. I'm not your little softy friend anymore. Alright? I'm real. And I'm gonna actually be real. And I still like to be loving. That's always gonna be a core part of me. If you fucking screw me over, you best believe I'll rip your shit out. And that's when I realize it's hardcore. That's what it's being. And you can't just be all this, oh, do-de-do-de-do. No, you can't be that these days, people. You have to, like, kick out the people that aren't going to help you, that aren't going to be there for you. If anybody ever does that, then just be like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't need you. You're more needing me to validate your shit. And that's usually the way it is. Like, if you're not getting anything validation, even wise, from those people, then why even have them in your life? If they're on your social media and they just see your shit and they look at it probably every freaking day, but they don't ever say shit, like, why? Why even fucking be there? Like, I understand you don't always have to comment on every little post that somebody does, especially me. I like to share a lot of things. But I mean the important things, though. There's a lot of things that I share that are important and really need to be said. And I hit some really important topics because I'm passionate about rape and abuse and molestation and kids being, you know, taken and put into pornography rings and other things like that. freaking famine and people being hungry and
Or the
third
Me Too-
world countries
or
that are
those Me Too-
starving.
Me Too.
I'm actually very passionate
Yeah.
about those things because I know where they're coming
Also,
from.
those Me Too's falsely
Yeah,
accusing
Me
a bunch
Too
of black
bitches
people. Wow.
that
Me Too
accuse
bees. Falsely
Someone
accusing Bill
who's
Cosby.
done nothing but good things for our world.
You Me Too bees all need to be fucked off.
And they're what makes the rest of us females look stupid that actually were raped.
Yeah,
and I'm not
right.
going to be like, oh, well, you should feel for them because you... No. There's a difference between realizing that the freaking 10 years has been up, so you're not going to get your justice, and just accepting it and being like, no, I was raped and I didn't say anything because I was so afraid and blah, 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 even though I'm a freaking grown-ass female. And, okay, go do your prayers, honey.
Alright.
And I'm like
They
supposed to just be heard because of who I am, and he should just get arrested just because I said he did it. You know, there's a difference. Like, if you really were raped, fine. But you're not going to sit there and all of a sudden out of the blue realize, oh, wait, I was raped. Like, no. There's a difference also between feeling like you were raped and, you know, making it up. And a lot of those females, more than likely, were making it up. Because some of them were not even saying the right things. They weren't even at the right areas. He wasn't even there. They had actual evidence of some of their cases where the dumbasses were that stupid to think he wouldn't realize where he had been on that day. Because especially being Bill Cosby, come on. You're going to have things written down. You're going to have other people validate that, yeah, you were at this party or wherever. And some of them would be that dumb and think, what, that he's not going to remember?
So the judge supported the Me Too
And,
because
you know, the fact that a lot of them realized that they were just trying to milk it kind of makes the other ones look stupid, too. And honestly, I don't buy a word of any of what they're saying. I think that is true, and most of them are black, sadly. You know, a lot of them get discriminated against and hated on just because of what the race they are. And the judge on Bill Cosby's case, like I've said before, literally is the husband to his wife, who is one of the main people involved in the Me Too movement. Like, what the fuck? And he's acting like, yeah, I'm not going to be biased in the slightest. Like, whatever, asshole. You know you fucking are going to be biased, you idiot. I would never have let that fucking case go on. I would have fought as much as I could every freaking moment to get a new judge. Like, I would have just said, no, I need a new judge ASAP. Like, I'm Bill Cosby. I need a freaking new judge. Like, this motherfucker, it's so damn obvious to even simple people like us. Like, what the fuck? Like, if he's the husband to her, he's going home and sleeping next to her every freaking night. Like, she's not gonna rub off on him? Bullshit. Come on, people. You can't be that stupid. No, I don't buy that shit. But anyways, he got screwed over. If he could get screwed over, we all could get screwed over, people. So if you're a minority or any ethnic person, you're screwed in this world. You better not try to get up to the top. You better not put years and years towards something, because all a white person has to do is come in and be like, oh, that person raped me. Be like, bitch, I'm freaking 5 foot, 115 pounds wet. You think I'm gonna fucking rape you? Whatever. Throw that shit out of here. Fucking lying bitch.
The judge would still take her side.
I'd be like, and how the hell am I gonna rape you? I'm a freaking female too.
Lisa, you know what their excuse would be? Your husband held her down.
Yeah, okay, bitch. I'd be like, yeah, you keep smoking that shit. You keep smoking that weed, you fucking prostitute whore. Because that's what one of them literally was. She was a prostitute that was actually also caught with drugs in her possession. And she had a freaking actual thing out on her. And she was one of the people wanting money. It's like, even this other bitch that already had a settlement wanted more in this Me Too movement. I'm like, what the freak? Isn't there like a limit? Like, you can't be in two different things. Like,
the one who had the settlement could not have been able to go back again. That would have been double jeopardy.
And then, of course, the whole movement screwed over our justice system, you know. by basically allowing these people to do that and go over the 10-year statutory limitations in many of the cases. Like, what? Like, don't we have laws just so you can't break them? And yet, I guess if you're white, you can. But anyways, that was my main point, was about my family. I don't know how I got in a tangent about everything else. But, you know, it just irks parts of me. And I just think that it's wrong, you know? And I want to be respected. That's the bottom line. And I want to be heard. And if a person is not going to do that in my life anymore, then I don't really need them, because I'm going to be in a way that's going to be very difficult eventually for me. And it's going to be enough on my plate when I am doing my acting. If I don't have people to support me now, then I don't want those same people in my life when I'm up there, because I realize they would just be leechers. And you know, I'm not going to have that. If you don't care about who I am as a person, and you're just only there because I might at one point get up there, then that's not right to be in somebody's life or be their friend. You know, if you're their friend and you loved them for all those years, then that's different. But if you're just trying to somewhat be a certain way because then you might be noticed, that's not the right attitude. I honestly think and feel that's what Lisa was doing. But she never really supports any of my stuff. She would rarely ever say anything on my things. And my adopted family did that all my life too. The only one who's always been that way and very faithfully has been my adopted mom. And that's the only reason I have situations and I deal with my adopted family, because I'm not going to deal with them after my mom does pass. I can't deal with all the crap. I can't deal with negativity, and until people are ready and willing to own up to what they've done, if they're wanting me always to own up to what I do, then we don't have anything to talk about. I'm not going to talk about anything else until it gets resolved. And they've pushed a lot of things onto me and forced me to deal with certain things that I've done and had things happen. And they're very okay with bringing my stuff out, you know. I don't like people that do that. If you're willing that your stuff should come out, that the other person's stuff should come out, then don't be upset when they bring out your shit. And that's what one of my things my in-law did very well. That bitch, shit. I'll never trust that bitch again. I have no love lost from her either. Her name's Julie, by the way. And she was a real bitch. A real bitch. I wish my brother hadn't even married her. But it was like, she would always bring my crap out. You know, and how I got kicked out of PCC. And everything. How horrible grades I supposedly got when she has no idea. She didn't look at my report cards. I don't know how she'd even act like she knew. But, yeah, she would say things like that, and I would be like, okay, and my brother was a drug addict, so what? You know, and she'd be like, oh, we don't talk about that. Oh, I guess we don't talk about the fact my in-law is a freaking cheating whore who had a child from another man. Yeah, I guess we don't talk about that either, do we? Oh well, I guess I just did.
They're fine with bringing it out.
And you know, it's just hypocritical. We don't even talk about what happened to me at age 8, do we? We never talk about anything in my family. And I'm realizing that even in my biological, they don't want to unless it affects them and is something great for them and feeling sorry for their illnesses. So this is the people I deal with. Either one or the other. They're both pretty much equal. Now I realize, and I'm just not going to deal with it. My brother John would never have put up with this shit. And he would have outed my other brother in a heartbeat for me.
Johnny would have been like me.
He probably would have gone after him and taken him out. Because, geez, that's just the kind of person he was. But
your brother and his friend.
This is my family. These have been my real family underneath all the facade, everybody. I know it seems like I'm being harsh with them, which I am. But I'm telling you the other side because I share all the time their goods. I share what I love about them a lot. And I think sometimes you have to see both sides to really see a person. I mean, our society way too sugarcoats like things to be all perfect and butterflies and flowers and gardens and everything all great, but it's not, you know. There's bads underneath. And I'm not going to feel afraid or offended, even if they get upset. I don't care. They know what happened. You know, they all know what our family's gone through. And they can't run from it. You can't run from yourself forever. Eventually it'll come back. And that's the secret, I think, part of the secret, people, to eternal beauty and youth. To having that persona of innocence about you. You have to be honest. You have to be truthful with others about who you are, about who others are. You can't lie. And you can't hide behind a mask or persona that's not real. It's not you. And if you want to cry, then fucking cry. I do that so much. I let my emotion out. And I don't feel ashamed doing it. It's an innocence and it's that vulnerability. It's all of your emotion coming out and spilling out truth. Because if you're upset and you can't talk the words, the tears are like your words and they speak. Because that's why people get upset when somebody cries around them. They don't have to literally say a word. You know, my family would be upset just by me crying. Because it's the truth coming out. If I couldn't speak something, I would cry. And yeah, they would say I cry at a freaking drop of a hat. And I did. Because I couldn't always speak my truth. But it came out in other ways. And how I felt. You know, you can't lie about how you look. Can't lie, your looks and your expression and your facial gestures, they give you away. And I wore my heart and my truth on my sleeves. So I was always honest like that with people in my life. And if I wasn't, it ate me up inside until I did. And I would rat myself out so much by crying. And everybody knew if I had done something. I felt so bad about it. And I was so scared about what punishment I was going to get. It would like literally be a worse punishment than the punishment itself. And that's how I was. And that's how you are when you're a child and you can't say what you really want to say. You know, the tears sometimes are your solution. And that's the only thing I can think of as to why I've stayed young looking. I've always kind of been younger looking than everybody in my age bracket since I was a kid. So that also might play a thing in it. But I take care of myself nowadays. And I be honest about even my crap. You know, I've said things that you've seen me and Isaac even have our spats back on my other channels. I've even gotten drunk and stupid on the internet, so I'm honest. What you freaking see is what you get. And if you don't like it, you're not that type that needs to have somebody that can be truthful in your life. Maybe you can't handle the truth. But that's my little video for tonight and my sharing of something that's been weighing on my heart and getting me all worked up. And sometimes when I say things that happen and how I feel on video, it makes it so I can sleep better at night. So I've noticed that might be a secret to insomnia. Or writing it. Writing it also helps, but it doesn't get it out there as easily because it's just between you and God. But sometimes I do just keep things between me and God. So I do think some things are meant to stay there. But I hope that you're all having a better day than I did and that you always feel like you're heard. Because in the end, I think that's what we all crave and that's what we all seek in each other. And if my sister actually had some respect and understanding toward me, I probably would have listened to her and treated her different. But the way she handled it, and then the way she handled it again, told me that she's not ever going to listen, and that she'll go back to someone like my niece before she would me. And tells me that she really didn't feel that bad toward her own daughter. Of course she wouldn't. So maybe she lied to me about everything. And I just don't want to be with a bunch of liars. In the end, I got me and Isaac and God. And I guess if that's all I ever have, ever care, or support any of my stuff, then so be it. Peace.